So I want to ask you another list, but this one we'll just do 2-second answers for each one. So this way,
2 seconds. Oh my God, do you know us?
just based on time, we're not going to get to hear your reason, but we just want to at least know your take on these. Okay. So I'll say there's 15. I'll ask them out loud one at a time, and you could both answer with either a yes, no, or a very, very, very short answer. You ready?
Okay.
So,
I feel like I'm on a game show.
sunshine, is this significant either way that we get sunshine each day? Does this really matter, or is it not a big deal either way?
It's a big deal. Lack of sunshine will shorten your life the same as smoking cigarettes.
Yes,
Research
for
shows.
emotional health especially, we got to go outside and touch grass, see the sun. Absolutely.
Okay, there's something called grounding where you walk barefoot that they say lowers inflammation. Is this something you recommend that we take an hour of our day to walk around barefoot? Is this worth it, or do you have any thought on it?
I think the harder you make this, the less takers you're going to get. I think it's great to be outside. I think it's great. I like walking around my yard barefoot, but I don't think it's a requirement. And to suggest that you can eat cheeseburgers and put your feet on the grass and get rid of it's kind of silly.
Agreed. I find it calming. I find a good meditation, but I've never tested people who stand in grass for an hour versus people who don't. So I can't tell you if it's required. Most people who I work with don't do it, but I think it's good for you. Whether or not it's really anti-inflammatory, I can't say.
Okay, there's a new book by Sally Norton about something about oxalates, saying that it's toxic. Do you have any thought on oxalates? Whether or not this is something that we should change our diet to avoid?
I have thoughts on everything, Steve. Listen, your body makes oxalates. Okay, so and by the way, when you have a problem with oxalates, it's usually because you've been eating terribly and your body's making oxalates. And this is a ridiculous thing, trying to stay away from oxalates because you have kidney stones. So that's all I'll say right now.
I just put a video out this week about the myth of oxalates. Yeah, this is a distraction. People are not dying from overeating spinach. They're dying because they're not eating spinach. All right. So yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
What about acrylamides from eating cooked foods or cooked beans, grains, breads? Is this a concern that we should not eat cooked food because of acrylamides?
It's ridiculous. And again, why make this harder than it needs to be? Some of our colleagues want this to have all these rules, and then they sit back and say they can't understand why people won't do better for themselves. Well, if they're looking at this and saying, I got to quit my job and think about eating all day long, you're not going to get many takers. There's no evidence to suggest that cooked food is harmful.
Now, I don't think acrylamides are the issue. And again, I think it's a distraction. There's so many people trying to distract people from just eating better. It's just
okay. Do we even need to have this conference? Can we just take Ozempic, which is a diabetic drug, to lose weight?
Well, look at we're the only country in the world that allows drug companies to do a clinical trial without testing it against an existing drug like metformin that is already cheap and works. All right. So none of these drugs would be on the market if they were tested the way they are in other countries. So we don't need any of these drugs. These high-priced drugs, Trulicity, higher price than some of these drugs than the average income in our country. It's ridiculous.
It's human hubris that somehow we're going to invent a better way than nature. And it just hasn't happened yet. My mom was told that giving me formula was better than breast milk. Turns out not the case. No, we're not going to have a pill that replaces common sense and healthy eating.
Okay, how about alcohol?
It's a treat. I don't think we get anywhere telling people that a cookie is going to kill you and cake on your birthday is going to end your life. You got bigger problems than I can solve if that's the case, right? I collect wine. I'll have a glass of wine maybe 10 times a year, and as a treat, I don't think it's a problem. But there are a lot of doctors encouraging the consumption of alcohol for health purposes. I think that's dangerous.
Yeah, it's not a health food. If you're sick, I don't recommend it. If you're healthy, then it's something I call it recreational eating, recreational drinking. You know it's harming you, but if you do it once in a while and you're healthy, it's okay. I also have a glass of wine or maybe even a martini once in a while, but I've been healthy 18 years. When you're healthy, you can take some risks because your body can handle it. When you're sick, though, you got to be much more careful and realize that your body's a lot more delicate than that. So know if you're sick, but if you're healthy once in a while, it should be okay.
How about coffee?
No evidence that it's harmful. Read one of my affiliate colleagues and I wrote a very long paper, 25 pages, more reasons to take up the habit than eliminate it. Actually, I don't think people should start drinking coffee as a health food, but I don't see any reason to talk most people out of it unless they're caffeine sensitive.
Yeah, and I've had people who've completely healed from their autoimmune diseases while still having 1 cup of coffee a day. So if it doesn't hurt, then it's fine. But multiple cups a day, now you're taxing your adrenals, you're putting your body through a lot, you're preventing yourself the ability to sleep properly. But 1 cup a day of coffee has not stopped people from healing, in my experience.